betrayal and exile. The perfect Luna. Elena stood at the window of the pack house, watching the morning sun paint the forest gold. She smiled, remembering how Marcus had proposed to her in this exact spot 3 years ago. Back then, she thought she had found her forever. She was the Luna of Silvermoon Pack, respected and loved by everyone. Her mate Marcus was a strong alpha, and together they had built something beautiful. Or so she thought. Luna Elena, the alpha wants to see you in the main hall, a young pack member said, interrupting her thoughts. His eyes wouldn't meet hers, and something cold twisted in her stomach. Is everything okay? Elena asked. The boy ran away without answering. Elena's wolf stirred nervously inside her. Something was wrong. She could feel it in her bones. She made her way to the main hall, her heart beating faster with each step. When she pushed open the heavy doors, she froze. The entire pack was gathered inside. Hundreds of faces turned to look at her. But that wasn't what made her blood run cold. It was the sight of Marcus standing on the raised platform, his hand holding another woman's hand. Veronica. Those strange words echoed in Elena's mind as she packed her few belongings. She took only what was truly hers: clothes, a few books, and a photo of her parents who had died when she was young. Everything else belonged to the pack house, to a life that was no longer hers. When she walked out of Silvermoon territory, not a single wolf came to say goodbye. The mate bond finally snapped completely, and Elena collapsed just beyond the border, screaming in agony as the last piece of Marcus was torn from her soul. Alone in the wild. For 2 days, Elena wandered through neutral territory in a daze. She had nowhere to go. No family, no pack, no home. She was a lone wolf now, a rogue. And rogues were hunted by pack wolves everywhere. On the 3rd night, she was attacked. 5 rogue males surrounded her campfire, their eyes gleaming with hunger and violence. Well, their leader said, showing yellowed teeth. A fresh little female all alone. This is our lucky night, boys. Elena's wolf, weak as it was, surged forward. Stay back, she warned. I don't want trouble. Too late for that, sweetheart. They lunged at her all at once. What happened next shocked Elena as much as it shocked her attackers. Power exploded from her body like a bomb going off. A wave of pure energy sent all 5 rogues flying backward, slamming into trees with bone-breaking force. Silver light surrounded Elena's body, bright as the full moon. She stared at her hands in disbelief. What was that? She had never done anything like that before. Her wolf, supposedly weak and small, felt different now. Stronger, bigger, like something that had been sleeping was finally waking up. The rogues scrambled away, terrified, leaving Elena alone with her shocking discovery. The witch's truth. You're finally awakening, a voice said from the darkness. Elena spun around, her new power crackling at her fingertips, ready to defend herself. An old woman stepped into the firelight. She had silver hair, dark knowing eyes, and carried a staff carved with strange symbols. Who are you?
Elena demanded.
My name is Morgana. I'm a witch, and I've been watching you for a long time. Elena Thornheart. Or should I say, Elena Moonshadow. Moonshadow? That's not my name. It is your true name, child. The name of your bloodline. Your mother changed it to Thornheart to hide you, to keep you safe. But she's gone now, and it's time you knew the truth about who you really are. Morgana sat down by the fire without invitation. Your mother was from an ancient bloodline, one of the first werewolf families created by the moon goddess herself. The Moonshadows were warrior queens, women of incredible power who ruled with both strength and wisdom. But that power comes with a price. It stays dormant until awakened by great emotional pain or mortal danger. Elena's mind was spinning. That's impossible. My mother was just a regular pack member. She died in a rogue attack when I was 12. Your mother died protecting you from assassins, Morgana corrected gently. She knew that if certain wolves discovered your bloodline, they would kill you before your power awakened. So she hid you in an ordinary pack, taught you to be gentle and kind, hoping you would live a safe, normal life. But I was rejected. called weak, thrown away like garbage. Because your power was sleeping, Morgana explained. To everyone else you appeared weak, even to yourself. But that mate of yours did you a favor, though he doesn't know it. By breaking your heart so completely, by pushing you to your absolute limit, he triggered your awakening. You're not weak, Elena. You never were. You're one of the most powerful wolves alive, and now, finally, you're beginning to see it. The choice. Elena looked at her hands again, at the silver light that still danced across her skin. What do I do now? That's up to you, Morgana said. You could hide again, find some remote place and live quietly, hoping no one discovers what you are. Or you could embrace your power, embrace your true bloodline, and become what you were always meant to be. And what's that? A queen, Morgana said simply. Not a Luna who stands behind an alpha. A queen who rules in her own right. There are hundreds of wolves out there like you, Elena. Rejected ones. Betrayed ones. Wolves who were cast out by packs who didn't see their value. They need someone to lead them. Someone who understands their pain. Someone who will fight for them. Elena thought about Marcus, about how easily he had thrown her away. She thought about Veronica's cruel laughter and the pack members who had turned their backs on her without a second thought. She thought about all the wolves who had probably suffered the same fate, told they weren't good enough, cast aside like trash. If I do this, Elena said slowly, if I become this queen you're talking about, what happens to Marcus? To Silver Moon Pack? Morgana smiled, and it wasn't a kind smile. That depends on you, dear. Revenge is a dish best served cold, they say. But I've found it's most satisfying when served with justice. Your former mate has made many enemies. He's done many things in the shadows that his pack doesn't know about. If someone were to expose him, if someone were to challenge his authority, well, he might find himself in a very difficult position. Elena stood up, feeling her power pulse through her veins like liquid fire. The weak, rejected Luna was gone. In her place stood something new, something dangerous and powerful. Teach me, she said to Morgana. Teach me everything. How to use my power. How to fight. How to lead. I won't hide anymore. And I won't let Marcus destroy anyone else the way he tried to destroy me. Now that, Morgana said with satisfaction, is the spirit of a true Moonshadow Queen, building an army. Over the next few weeks, Elena trained harder than she ever had in her life. Morgana was a harsh teacher, pushing Elena to her limits every single day. She learned to control the power that flowed through her bloodline, learned to shift into a wolf form that was twice the size she'd been before, silver white and magnificent. But more importantly, she learned the truth about Marcus. Your former mate has been conducting illegal activities for years, Morgana revealed one night, showing Elena documents and witness statements. He's been trafficking young wolves, selling them to fighting rings. He's been stealing territory from smaller packs through threats and violence. He's been taking bribes from rogue groups in exchange for letting them hunt on pack lands. The Silver Moon Pack has no idea their alpha is a criminal. Elena's blood boiled as she read through the evidence. How did you get all this information? I have my sources, Morgana said mysteriously. But this is just the beginning, dear. If you're going to take him down, you need more than evidence. You need power. You need an army of your own. Where would I find wolves willing to follow me? I'm a rogue. You're not just a rogue. You're the rogue queen. Start acting like it. And so Elena did. She began traveling through neutral territories, seeking out other rejected wolves. She found them in dark corners and hidden camps, wolves who had been cast out for being different, for being too strong or too weak, for challenging corrupt alphas or for refusing to follow unjust orders. To each of them, Elena offered the same thing: a place to belong, a chance to be valued, and an opportunity to fight back against the system that had wronged them. The first wolf to join her was a scarred warrior named Drake who had been exiled for refusing to kill innocent pups during a territory war. I've been waiting for someone like you, he said when Elena found him. Someone who actually cares about honor and justice. I'll follow you anywhere, Queen Elena. The second was a young female named Maya who had been rejected by her mate for being too ambitious. She was brilliant with strategy and quickly became Elena's right hand. One by one, Elena built her group. 10 became 20. 20 became 50. Within 3 months, she had 100 wolves following her. All of them skilled, all of them loyal, all of them ready to fight for a better world. They trained together in a hidden valley Morgana had shown them, far from any pack territory. They learned to fight as a unit, to trust each other, to be stronger together than they ever were alone. And every night, before Elena slept, she thought about Marcus, about the moment when she would face him again. But this time, she wouldn't be on her knees, begging for his mercy. This time, she would be standing tall, powerful, and unstoppable. The weak Luna he rejected was gone forever. In her place stood the Rogue Queen, and she was coming for justice. Rise of the Rogue Queen. 2 years later, Elena stood on a cliff overlooking her camp, watching 200 warriors train in the valley below. 2 years had passed since Marcus rejected her, and she barely recognized the woman she used to be. Gone was the soft, gentle Luna who always tried to please everyone. In her place stood a warrior queen with silver hair that glowed in moonlight and eyes that could freeze enemies with a single look. Her army had grown beyond her wildest dreams. 200 wolves, all rejected or betrayed by their packs, had found home with her. They called her the Rogue Queen, and the name had spread across every territory. Pack alphas whispered her name with fear. Rogues spoke it with respect. And those who needed help called out to her with hope. "My queen!" Drake approached, bowing slightly. He was her beta now, her second in command. The scarred warrior had proven his loyalty 100 times over. "We received new intelligence about Silver Moon Pack." Elena's heart, which had healed over 2 years, still ached at the mention of her former home. "Tell me, Marcus and Veronica's union is falling apart," Drake reported with barely hidden satisfaction. "The pack is suffering under his leadership. Food stores are low. Warriors are deserting. And there are rumors of rebellion among the pack members." Maya joined them, her eyes sharp and intelligent. "It gets better. Our spies confirmed that Marcus has been meeting with slave traders. He's not just stealing territory anymore. He's selling pack members to fighting rings and wealthy collectors. His own people." Elena's hands clenched into fists. Silver light sparked around her fingers, responding to her anger. "How many has he sold?" "At least 30 in the past year," Maya said quietly. "Most of them young wolves who questioned his authority or families who couldn't afford his increased taxes." "That's enough," Elena said, her voice cold as ice. "It's time we paid Marcus a visit. But not yet. First, we need allies. We need someone with authority to legitimize what we're going to do. We can't just attack a pack even if their alpha is corrupt. We need the law on our side." "There's only one wolf with that kind of authority," Drake said carefully. "The Alpha King of the Northern Territories." Elena had heard stories about the Northern Alpha King. Daemon Nightshade was said to be ruthless but fair, powerful beyond measure, and completely impossible to approach. He ruled the largest territory in the region with absolute authority, but unlike most powerful alphas, he actually cared about justice. "Then we go north," Elena decided. "Prepare the fastest warriors. We leave at dawn." The journey north. The journey to the Northern Territory took 5 days. Elena brought only her most trusted warriors, Drake, Maya, and 10 others. They traveled fast and light, avoiding pack territories and major roads. The last thing they needed was to be caught trespassing by some nervous Alpha's border patrol. As they crossed into Northern Territory, Elena felt the difference immediately. The air itself seemed charged with power. Ancient trees towered overhead, their branches blocking out the sun. This was old land, primal and wild, the kind of place where the moon goddess herself had walked in the time of legends. "State your business," a voice commanded from the shadows. 20 wolves emerged from the forest, surrounding Elena's group. They were huge, battle-hardened warriors wearing black armor with a silver wolf emblem. "The Northern King's elite guard." "I am Elena Moonshadow," Elena said, using her true name for the first time in public. "Also known as the Rogue Queen." I seek an audience with Alpha King Damon Nightshade. The guard captain, a massive man with a scar across his face, studied her carefully. The rogue queen, we've heard of you. The Alpha King has been expecting you. Elena's eyes narrowed. Expecting me? How? The Alpha King knows many things, the captain said mysteriously. Follow us, and know that if you try anything hostile, you'll be dead before you can shift. They were escorted through the forest to a fortress that took Elena's breath away. It was built into the side of a mountain, part stone and part natural cave, blending seamlessly with the landscape. Waterfalls cascaded down the rock face, creating a constant sound like thunder. This was a seat of true power. Inside, the fortress was even more impressive. Torches lined the walls, casting flickering shadows on ancient tapestries showing battles and ceremonies from centuries past. Warriors trained in massive courtyards. Servants moved efficiently through halls. This was a pack that functioned like a well-oiled machine. The Alpha King will see you now, the captain said, stopping before a massive door carved with wolves and moon symbols. Elena's heart pounded as the doors opened. She stepped into a throne room that seemed to glow with its own light. And there, sitting on a throne of black stone and silver metal, was the most magnificent wolf she had ever seen. Meeting the Alpha King, Damon Nightshade rose as Elena entered, and she understood immediately why he was called the Alpha King. He was tall and powerfully built, with midnight black hair and eyes like molten gold. Power radiated from him in waves so strong that Elena's wolf immediately wanted to submit. But she fought that instinct, standing tall and meeting his gaze directly. Elena Moonshadow, Damon said, his voice deep and rich. The Rogue Queen. I've been waiting to meet you. You knew I was coming? Elena asked, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. I've been tracking your movements for 6 months, Damon admitted with a slight smile. You've been making quite a name for yourself, rescuing rejected wolves, building an army, disrupting illegal operations, taking down corrupt officials. You're either very brave or very foolish. I'm fighting for justice, Elena said firmly. Something most alphas have forgotten about. Most, but not all, Damon replied. He walked down from his throne, moving with the grace of a natural predator. As he got closer, Elena felt something strange, a pull, like invisible threads trying to connect them. Her wolf stirred with interest for the first time since Marcus's rejection. I know why you're here, Damon continued. You want to take down Marcus Blackwood of the Silver Moon Pack. You want my blessing to do it. I want more than your blessing, Elena said boldly. I want your help. Marcus isn't just hurting his own pack. He's trafficking wolves across multiple territories. He's working with rogue gangs. He's poisoning the entire region with his corruption. Stopping him helps everyone. Damon studied her for a long moment. You're right. I've been investigating Marcus for 2 years now. He's been very careful, covering his tracks, bribing officials. But I haven't been able to gather enough evidence to take official action against him. I have evidence, Elena said, pulling out the documents Morgana had given her. Names, dates, locations. Witness statements from wolves he's sold. Financial records showing his illegal profits. Everything you need. Damon took the documents and read through them quickly. His expression grew darker with each page. Where did you get this? I have my sources, Elena said, echoing Morgana's words from 2 years ago. This is exactly what I needed, Damon said slowly. With this evidence, I can legally strip Marcus of his alpha title and disband his pack. But there's a problem. What problem? Pack law states that an alpha can only be removed by challenge or by official decree from the Alpha King. If I just show up and arrest Marcus, his pack might rebel. They might see it as an outside power interfering with their internal affairs. But if someone from within the pack, someone with legitimate grievances, were to challenge him, that would be different. Elena's eyes widened. You want me to challenge Marcus for the alpha position? You were his Luna for 3 years, Damon pointed out. You have every right to challenge him. And with your bloodline, your power, you could actually win. The question is, Are you ready for that? The alliance forms. Elena thought about it carefully. Challenging Marcus meant facing him in combat. It meant potentially killing him or being killed. It meant taking responsibility for an entire pack, including wolves who had rejected her. If I do this, Elena said slowly, I need guarantees. I need to know that you'll support me, that you'll recognize my authority if I win, and that you'll help me rebuild Silvermoon Pack properly. You have my word, Damon said. But I want something in return. What? I want you to work with me, Damon said. Your intelligence network is better than mine. Your warriors are skilled and loyal. Together, we could clean up corruption across all the territories. We could create a system where wolves aren't rejected and thrown away for being different. We could actually make things better. Elena studied him carefully. This was the most powerful alpha in the region, and he was offering her partnership, not demanding her submission. It was unexpected and strangely appealing. Why do you care so much about justice? Elena asked. Most alphas only care about power. Damon's expression darkened. Because I was almost a rogue myself once. My father was an alpha who believed in the old ways. Strength above all, weakness to be eliminated. When I was 16, I defended a young Omega from being killed for being too small. My father declared me weak and tried to have me executed. I had to fight my own father to survive, and when I won, I became alpha by default. I swore that day that I would never let power corrupt me the way it corrupted him. I would use my authority to protect the weak, not destroy them. Elena felt her respect for Damon grow. He understood. He knew what it was like to be cast aside, to be called weak, to have to fight for the right to simply exist. All right, Elena said, extending her hand. We have a deal. I challenge Marcus for the alpha position, and in return, I work with you to clean up the territories. Damon took her hand, and the moment their skin touched, Elena felt it. A jolt of electricity. A connection that went deeper than alliance or friendship. Her wolf howled with recognition inside her mind. Mate, her wolf whispered. True mate. Elena's eyes widened as she looked up at Damon. From the expression on his face, he had felt it too. Well, Damon said quietly, his hand still holding hers. This complicates things. The mate bond. Elena pulled her hand back quickly, her heart racing. No, that's not possible. I was already mated. The bond was broken. You can't have a second mate. You can if the first bond was false, Damon said softly. Not every bond is a true mate bond, Elena. Sometimes the moon goddess allows temporary connections, testing us, teaching us, preparing us for our real mate. Marcus wasn't your true mate. I am. Elena shook her head, backing away. I can't do this. I can't go through that pain again. Being rejected almost destroyed me. I would never reject you, Damon said, and the absolute certainty in his voice made Elena's heart ache. I've been searching for my true mate for 10 years. I'd given up hope of ever finding her. And now here you are, the strongest, bravest, most magnificent woman I've ever met. Why would I ever reject that? Because I'm a rogue. Because I'm broken. Because I'm not good enough to be anyone's mate, let alone the Alpha King's. Damon moved faster than Elena could track, suddenly standing right in front of her. He gently tilted her chin up, forcing her to meet his eyes. You listen to me, Elena Moonshadow. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not less than anyone. Marcus was a fool who couldn't see the treasure he had. But I see you. I see your strength, your compassion, your fire, and I want all of it. I'm scared, Elena whispered, admitting her fear for the first time. So am I, Damon admitted. Scared of losing you before I've even really found you. Scared that you'll reject this bond because of what Marcus did to you. But I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to earn your trust. Take all the time you need. Challenge Marcus first. Build your power. Get your revenge. I'll be here when you're ready. Elena felt tears prick her eyes. This was everything she'd wanted Marcus to be but never was. Patient, understanding, strong but gentle, willing to fight for her but also willing to let her fight her own battles. "Thank you," she said softly, "for understanding." "Always," Damon promised, planning the strike. Over the next 2 weeks, Elena and Damon worked together to plan their attack on Marcus's operations. The mate bond hummed between them constantly, growing stronger each day even though neither of them had officially accepted it yet. They worked well together, their minds in perfect sync. "Marcus has 3 main trafficking routes," Maya explained, pointing to a map spread across the war table. "One through the eastern forest, one along the river valley, and one through the abandoned mine tunnels here. We hit all 3 at once," Damon decided. "Coordinate the attacks so Marcus can't reinforce any position. Elena, your warriors take the forest route. My guard takes the river. Together, we take the mines." "What about the captives?" Drake asked. "Some of these locations are holding dozens of wolves prisoner." "Rescue is the priority," Elena said firmly. "We go in, free the prisoners, capture or eliminate the guards, and burn down the facilities. Make it clear that this kind of operation will not be tolerated anymore." The attacks were planned for the new moon, when darkness would provide cover. Elena spent the days before training with her warriors, making sure everyone knew their roles. And she spent her evenings with Damon, talking, learning about each other, letting the bond between them grow naturally. "Tell me about your parents," Damon asked one evening as they sat on a balcony overlooking the forest. "They died when I was 12, Elena said softly, "protecting me. My mother was from the Moonshadow bloodline, one of the ancient warrior queens. My father was a regular pack wolf who loved her despite the danger. They were happy together. And when assassins came for me, they fought to their last breath to keep me safe." "They sound like they were incredible people," Damon said gently. "They were. My mother taught me that true strength isn't about dominance or violence. It's about protecting those who can't protect themselves. About standing up for what's right even when it's hard. I lost my way after Marcus rejected me. I let his words make me doubt everything my parents taught me. But I'm finding my way back." "You never lost it," Damon assured her. "You were just hidden for a while, like your power was hidden. But you're shining now, Elena, brighter than any star." Elena leaned against him, letting herself feel safe for the first time in years. "What about you? What was your mother like?" "Strong," Damon said. "She stood by me when I had to fight my father. Even though it meant going against her mate, she chose justice over loyalty. After my father died, she helped me rebuild the pack properly. She passed away 5 years ago, but I know she'd be proud of what we've built here." "She'd be proud of you," Elena corrected. "You're a good alpha, Damon. The kind the world needs more of." The first strike. The new moon came quickly. Elena led her warriors through the dark forest, moving silently toward Marcus's eastern trafficking route. They found it exactly where the intelligence had indicated, a large warehouse hidden among the trees, guarded by 20 of Marcus's corrupted warriors. Elena could hear crying from inside the warehouse, young voices begging for help. Her rage ignited like wildfire. "No survivors among the guards," she commanded coldly. "They chose to work for a monster. They don't get mercy, but try to take them alive if possible. We need them to testify against Marcus." Her warriors moved like shadows, taking down the guards one by one. Drake was a force of nature, his fighting skills honed by years of battle. Maya coordinated the teams with perfect precision. Within minutes, the guards were all down, some dead, some unconscious, all neutralized. Elena personally broke down the warehouse door. Inside, she found 30 wolves chained to the walls. Most were young, teenagers barely past their first shift. Some were injured. All were terrified. "You're safe now," Elena said softly, kneeling beside a young girl who couldn't be more than 14. "I'm Elena, the Rogue Queen. I'm here to take you home." The girl burst into tears, throwing her arms around Elena. "I thought I was going to die. They said they were selling us to fighting rings. They said no one cared enough to come for us." "I care," Elena said fiercely, holding the girl. "And you're not the only ones. We're hitting 2 other facilities tonight. By dawn, Marcus's entire trafficking operation will be destroyed. True to her word, by the time the sun rose, all 3 facilities had been destroyed. Over 70 wolves had been freed. 15 of Marcus's guards were dead. 20 more were captured, ready to testify. And most importantly, they had recovered financial records proving Marcus's guilt beyond any doubt. Elena stood in the ruins of the mine facility, covered in blood and ash, and smiled grimly. "Send word to Marcus," she told Drake. "Tell him the rogue queen is coming for him. Tell him his empire is crumbling. And tell him that in 3 days, I'm challenging him for the alpha position. If he's not a coward, he'll accept." Drake grinned savagely. "With pleasure, my queen." The message delivered. Marcus received Elena's message at dawn, delivered by a runner who threw the scroll at his feet and disappeared before he could be captured. Veronica was there when he read it, and she watched the color drain from his face. "What's wrong?" she demanded.
Elena, Marcus whispered.
"She's alive, and she's the rogue queen." Veronica laughed bitterly. "That's impossible." Elena was weak. She could barely shift. "Apparently she was never weak," Marcus said, reading through the reports of the destroyed facilities. "She's built an army of 200 warriors. She's allied with the Northern Alpha King. And she's destroyed my entire trafficking operation in one night." "So what?" Veronica sneered. "She's just a rogue. You're an alpha. You can crush her." But Marcus wasn't so sure anymore. He remembered Elena's eyes when he rejected her. The pain, yes, but also something else. Something that had looked almost like relief, like she was being freed from chains she hadn't known she was wearing. "She's challenging me," Marcus said quietly. "In 3 days she'll be here, and if I don't accept the challenge, I'll look weak in front of the entire pack. But if I do accept and lose, I lose everything." "You won't lose," Veronica said confidently. "You're stronger than some rejected Luna." But deep down, Marcus knew the truth. He had made a terrible mistake 2 years ago. He had thrown away something precious, and now it was coming back to haunt him. The rogue queen was coming home, and she was bringing his judgment with her.